Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Racing Unleashed here for Challenge 4 for the Racer League Driver. It is going to be a fantastic day of action in store once again here as we take on the same event as 2 weeks ago, and what a cracker it was. It was the heavy rain at Spa and the Toyotas that provided great drama and some of the best racing we've seen on the iRacing platform this season and this year alone. Another fantastic day, though, into the Racer League action for the drivers, with plenty of throws and spills along the way. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, bringing you all the action live for today's event. And today, of course, is the big one, because to the end of the broadcast, we'll announce Challenge 5 of what will be coming on Racing Unleashed iRacing package. But before we get into anything today, let's take a listen from Mr. James Walker, who has a bit of a hardware video for us.
Is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very trick indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
Thank you, James, for the insight in the hardware, what we have in our Racing Unleashed lounges across Europe, in Madrid, Munich, Zurich, in Kemptal, in Zurich, and in Harm as well in Switzerland, and many facilities being rolled out across Europe and maybe the world within the next few years. It's going to be great to see what we can do. I believe we had I did hear of an update of a Racing Unleashed lounge coming to Estoril, I do believe, potentially in the upcoming month. So this is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on for sure. Obviously, the LAN event starting back up in September for the championship. No more spring events, they've come and gone. No summer events, it is just the iRacing to focus on before we get back into the Assetto Corsa system in September for that Challenger League and Racer League Championship. And what a championship it is going to be. It's going to provide some great action when we get there. But we turn our attention to today. It is the Toyota GR86s here at Spa, and we can show you now a graphic of the podium, the final classification podium from the last race. If you remember, a fortnight ago, it was fantastic action, and it was Vlad Tokrev, who's on the circuit tonight, who managed to get hold of €200 to his name, taking home the race win. It was fantastic for him. I don't believe it was €200. I believe it's €100. Apologies for what's on the screen there. Simon Demori got to take home €60 for second place. His first time on the podium. He's been there or thereabouts, sniffing at the podium every event he's done. And then Martin Kovacs as well managed to take home a podium position as well, and got to take home €40 to his name. I do believe that's what it's saying on the notes here. Bit more prize money in store for them drivers today, and obviously the Racer League as well is spread across the top 5 positions for that prize money. It is €175 if you are today's race winner, 125 if you are second place, 75 for third, 50 for fourth, and €25 if you are P5. Now, plenty of prize money to be won in these events. Obviously, that if you are a Challenger League or Racer League driver, come round once a month. But obviously, every 2 weeks for us on the channel. So we'll go from 1 week Racing Unleashed, in 2 week Challenge League, in 2 weeks' time, which will be the Racer League, and so on and so forth. That is the way it is run, and the formats stay the same. So each month, Challenge League will do the same format as Race League. So today is the same format as 2 weeks ago, if you remember back a couple of months ago. And we can show you the car that is on offer. It is the Toyota GR86. It is a 2.4 litre flat 4, 228 horsepower, weighing just over 1,359 kilograms. 1,359 kilograms. Top speed of 134 miles an hour and 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.9 seconds. And these are fantastic. They're a fixed setup car as well. So it means that what this means for the drivers is that they will be running very similar setups, identical setups across the board. It is all down to their ability and their skill and their talent to see if they can win a bit of prize money today. That is what's going to be on store for these drivers, and this is going to be a fantastic event. We saw 2 weeks ago how good the racing was. And it's going to provide another thriller. The format for today's event, if you want to refresh your memory, looks like this. It is a 12-minute qualifying in which the drivers will be in 10 minutes, 9 minutes time. Just coming to the end of practice on the time screens here. So 12 minutes worth of qualifying. That'll determine the grid for race 1, which is a 25-minute race. Now, as we know, Spa at the best of times in the dry is a very long lap. In the wet, even longer. It will then be a 25-minute reverse grid race. In that reverse grid, the drivers, I believe it is only the top 15 that get reversed. That is what it's saying here on my notes. The top 15 are reversed, which means for them drivers, they've got to go from possibly 15th place on the grid to the front. There is only 17 drivers currently in the lobby. That's pretty much the back of the pack. And as we saw last week, for the likes of, for exactly Sabuda, who was trying to come through the back of the pack, he couldn't do so and managed to not take home that podium prize money, if you will. He found it a little difficult to get to the front and take home that prize money. What he's got to do now, or what these drivers have got to do, is look at that from 2 weeks ago and learn from that. Vlad Tokarev is in the lineup today, so it's great to see Vlad back out there on the circuit. He was a man who took the race win 2 weeks ago, looking to get some more prize money today. I can tell you that, as I said, it's a long lap round here. The best lap at the moment in this practice session, set by Patrick Thompson, is a 3-minute 9.4. So that just goes to show how long it is. So a 25-minute race is a very long lap. Now, I had the fortune and the luck of driving in this car and in the conditions that the drivers are having to face today. In one of Apex Racing TV's simulators here in the just below me at the studio. They have the customer simulators downstairs as well as simulators for the team here at Apex Racing. I got the chance to have a go on one of the simulators. The weather and the conditions are very, very tricky. You go offline, you are aquaplaning. You go through a puddle, you are aquaplaning, and the puddles are all on the apex of the corners. It is very much see where the grip is, find where the grip is, and try and hold line. So overtaking is very, very cautious. And this is some of the best thing about the racing we saw 2 weeks ago. You didn't see them silly manoeuvres from drivers. You didn't see them silly lunges or dive bombs. You got to see drivers being patient and wait to make their overtaking opportunities and get through the pack as quick as they could and as safe as they could. Obviously, with race control, keeping an eye on every single little incident that happened throughout the day. So it is going to be fantastic to watch 17 drivers out there on the circuit so far. There is 6.5 minutes left of practice, and while there is 6.5 minutes left of practice, we can show you a quick track guide of Spa and this famous circuit here in Belgium. Through the Ardennes forest they go then for today's race. Like we said, the heavy rain conditions to be set, and as you come down to what is probably one of the world's most iconic circuits, especially on the likes of the Formula One calendar, you will head out of that chicane and down the start-finish straight before you head to La Source of Turn 1. Coming out of there as nice an exit as you can possibly get before you head up to El Rouge and Radion 2, 3 and 4. Down then the Kemmel Straight. How much can you get the slipstream into Les Combes? You will then go towards Turn 7, where again, this is one of the trickier part of the circuits for the puddles, for that aquaplane in incidents. Down towards the long right-hander. It is a hurry up and wait corner, and you are waiting in the wet conditions, let me tell you. Through No Name you go down towards Pouon. And this was one of the trickier sections of the circuit down at turns 10 and 11, where you just had to stay so wide and keep that momentum going, patient on the throttle before accelerating out towards the chicane of 12 and 13. And you're going to see drivers taking interesting lines through both of these parts of the track. It is going to be a fantastic watch to see which lines these drivers are taking. Down then in towards Stavolo and Campus you come, turns 14 and 15. And again, corners that you kind of have to be patient and respectful of as you come through, especially in these conditions, before you come around Blanchimont of 16 and 17 and you head towards that famous bus stop chicane. Late braking, possibly a chance to send one up the inside, but you have to watch for them puddles on the apex of both corners because they could catch you out, and this could provide some fantastic overtakes here before you head down to complete a lap here at Spa. And if you're like Patrick Thompson at the moment, you will do that within the 3 minutes and 9 seconds if you are at the minute the quickest guy on the circuit. But let me tell you, the gaps to these drivers, the top 8 are separated by just a little over a second, so it is mighty close between these drivers so far, and it is going to be an interesting one to see what these drivers can do throughout the day. Lewis Belicki, as well as Vlad Tokarev. We've got a few returning feiners. Gerard Sardini's out there on the track. Ciro Zambro, Augustin Torlacci, Borges Arzo, for those who are regular Racing Unleashed fans. A few names that I've not seen the likes of. Lorenz Horsing is coming into P4 at the moment on the timing screen, so a few names as well to go through, but it's great to see 17 drivers out there on the track at the moment and going great guns so far, leaving nothing out there at the moment. Obviously, we know that we have the European Championships on in the football at the moment, so it's fantastic to see such a good grid on there so far, and I believe we can catch the end of the practice session. These are the looks, though, of the track before practice started. You can see them puddles forming on the curbs and on the apexes of the corner. This is going to provide some very interesting racing. That is down towards No Name. You just see as it banks away in towards the corner, and there, a very quiet pit lane it was before the start of today's action. And here is some of the action now. This is on board with Gerard Sardini, who managed to take home some prize money a couple of events ago. And just look at the spray. And one thing I love being from the United Kingdom, watching the British touring cars, we used to get the likes of the Renault Clio Cup, cars that are exactly the same. Not a lot you can do to them to change them in terms of setup-wise. It was all down to the drivers, and that's what I love with what we've got here. We've got a fixed setup car. We've got a car that is really going to provide some entertaining racing and some entertaining battles throughout the whole of today. It really is going to be a fantastic display of action here on the iRacing platform. You already see there one of the Toyotas just in front of Vlad Tokarev, who we're on board with, believe had his bumper missing there. So that was, I want to say, Felix Votter there. And yeah, look, you just see the fact that he's... oh, no, he has got it. Sorry. Must just be in black. I thought that it was missing. Got to change the glasses. But here is Felix Votter then. Currently 10th place at the moment with a 3-minute 10.9. Currently 1.7 off of that pole lap. And is he on for a better time here? The timing screen's not showing any green sectors as at the moment. And he pulls to the side. He's going to return to pit lane. We're into the final 2 minutes of practice. This is really everybody's last lap that they are starting now. Here is Ruben Villanueva. Then P12 so far. Running up El Rouge. You just see, you get it wrong. You see that rear end just wanting to overtake him, but he manages to hold on to the slide very well. And managed to keep going down through Radion. And the puddle's just catching a few out. Here's Borges Arzo running in that minty green colour that we get to see. This one's going to be an interesting one for Borges. Not yet set a lap time, so he's late into the practice lobby, so he'll be looking to get a lap time on the board. And this could be an interesting one to see what he can do throughout this weekend and this race. As Lewis Belicki has topped the time screens with a 3:09.1, so he's gone and found 3/10 over Patrick Thompson. That puts a top 6 within just over a second. Ciro Zambra down in 13th. Returning face, obviously, the Challenger League champion of 2 seasons ago. What can he do? Borchisardo puts the lap time on the board. It's only a 3:43, probably just assessing the conditions and making sure he's ready to go for qualifying. And that was the end of the session then, so they've got 6 seconds left, and that'll be the end of that session. And then we're going to get into that qualifying format now then, the 12-minute qualifying session, which drivers have really got to get the power down. You'll get 1-2 laps in if you are lucky and don't make any mistakes. If you're straight out the pits, don't forget, when the 12 minutes are up, that is your session done. Whether you're on a lap or not, your session is done. So the minute you hit that 12-minute mark, you really want to get out there and make sure you get as many lap times on that board as possible. You could potentially sneak in a third lap. Depends on how quick your out lap is. But I hazard to guess we're only going to see 2 flying laps. This is Lewis Bellicky, a part of the Apex Racing Academy team, then exiting the pit lane here at Spa. Now, I do believe all these drivers have a solo qualifying, so I don't think they can see each other on the circuit. I'm being told is correct, so they are just focused on themselves. So it's not like they can be put off by any other driver in this qualifying session. It is all about what they do. And here is Carlos Moreira looking to putting a good performance at the moment for Astro Racing. Obviously no teams involved here at Racing Unleashed, but nice to see some of the teams that the drivers represent through, as we see 2 from the Apex Academy Racing. Alpha Esports is on their Sim Racing Centre. We've got a couple of privateers as well. Here is Matthias Pantilla. Lovely pink and black livery there for RD Sim Sport. And this is what I mean. Look at them puddles on the apex of Lake Com, and even when he comes through the left-hander there, they still are there. So this is going to be crucial then as you come into the right-hander once again. You've obviously now got to try and treat the puddles as the apex of the corner, if you will. You've got to try and treat them as if they was the curb. And that's the other thing to mention. The white lines and the curbing areas, the AstroTurf, you do not want to drop a wheel on, because you will know about it if you do. Everybody at the moment currently on a out lap. Then the first driver who is the furthest down the circuit, I believe, is Felix Votter. No, it's Gerard Sardini, apologies, who will be the first man to complete a lap. Here he is, just coming now into Stavolo and no, sorry. Sardini isn't the furthest one through a lap. So I'm not sure what the timer screen's saying in terms of laps here. That says negative there. So we're going to have to wait till they've done a lap time. We can't quite see who is the furthest man on a lap to set the first flying lap of this session. But either way, it should be an absolute belter. These Toyotas are absolutely fantastic. Right, so I've just been told that it's showing us what's remaining of that lap. So I believe it is Tobias Crooken, if not Lewis Bellicky then, who is the closest driver to starting a lap. Here is Tobias for the Sim Racing Centre team. Lovely livery on that car as well. Great to see some of the team's liveries and decals that they get on the car. It's fantastic to see how they look and representing their teams throughout the course of the race and the challenge for them. The German driver here. Just dropping 2 wheels over the curb out of Blanchimont there. Right, so driver's now going to start the lap. It is Lewis Bellicky and this man Crooked, who are going to be the first 2 to really set a lap time here. Oh, that's not the best way to get out of chicane. A bit of a smile there from Tobias here. Kind of knows that he just got through the puddle, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. Down the start straight he comes now in towards La Source. Just listen for that throttle out of the corner of La Source, just to hear when he picks it up and what he does with it. Eases it down, eases it through. This is the interesting one. We saw this 2 weeks ago. We heard this 2 weeks ago. We could stay on board with Tobias here. Let's listen through our roofs. Listen to see if he brakes. Listen to see if he manages to just lift off and how he eases that throttle in. You hear him there, just losing a bit of traction through the puddle. You hear it spin up a little bit, and he did well. the line through Eau Rouge and Radion at the moment is the biggest key here, because it is such an interesting one to take as you come now down the Kemmel straight towards Le Com for that first flying lap. You're not wanting to put a foot wrong here. Now, don't forget, for these Racer League drivers, they do need a iRating of 4,500 or better. There are a couple of drivers it was opened up to for this week to get them in to participate. Challenge League 4,500 or less. So, yeah, going to be an interesting one to see who can do what. Because obviously, Vlad Tokarev came from the Challenger League 2 weeks ago. And here is Tobias Krucken through towards No Name. He comes now. Just see him just having to stay a little wide of the apex just because of the puddles on that inside line. What you don't need around this circuit at the moment is a few off tracks. That will hamper your lap time massively. And you'll have to go again. This is Roger Christensen, our Norwegian driver for Valkyrie Excite. Coming in towards Stavolo. And no, this is games before Stavolo and Campus. Out of Puan. It's going to be interesting to see what lap times these drivers set now. I've noticed that they've all set green sectors at the moment. So that means they're on personal bests from the qualifying session. Two 25-minute races up and coming. We're already halfway through this qualifying session in about 10 seconds time. So what I mean, drivers will want to get on with it and want to get 2 laps at least on the board, 2 good laps on the board. But Diego Salinas Garza then, he's only a third of the way through the lap, it's saying on my screen. So he's got a lot of work to do to be able to get a lap in. Has he had a few moments somewhere on the circuit? Just looking, yeah, his first sector time, not great whatsoever. And here comes Christensen then, in towards the bus stop chicane, exits it now all over the curb in the AstroTurf, down towards the line, making it as short as possible. Lewis Bellicky does a 3:09.8. What does Christensen do? It's a 3:11.1. Krucken does a 3:11.7 as well. Lorenz Horsing has gone a 3:10.9. Vlad Tokarev a 3:10.6. Lap time still coming in. Patrick Thompson a 3:10.5. Then we've got Carlos Moreira has done a 3:11.7. Oye Zamaloa has done a 3:11.8. Matthias Pentilla has done a 3:13. Ruben Villanova a 3:13.8. Borja Zazo a 3:16.0. And then Ciro Zambra and Felix Votta didn't get a lap time on the board. Neither did Miguel Cuenca. There is Augustin Torlaci moving into P11. Then 4.9 off the pole at the moment with a 3:14.8 for Augustin Torlaci. Here is Diego Salinas Garza then. And Gerard Sardini has gone back to the pit lane. So has Ruben Villanova. That will be their session done because they're not going to get an outlap and a fast lap in. So Villanova done. Gerard Sardini will not get a lap time on the board. So you feel he's going to come from the back of the pack here then. And it's all going to be about who can do what in this race at the moment, or in this qualifying session to set themselves up for the race. Diego Salinas Garza at the moment coming through Blanchimont now. And this is going to be crucial to see if he gets it right. Manages to not run too wide there then, to make sure that he keeps it on the tarmac. Braking now into the bus stop chicane. Oh, he's missed it by a mile. And yes, you don't need to pick up the apex, but he's made his second line through the part of the second half of the chicane very, very tight. He's going to come towards the line now. I don't think this is a stellar lap time. And I also don't think it was a valid lap time because nothing has popped up on the timing screen or on our screens that you guys can see at home. Here is Lorenz Horsing then, currently P4. He's a second off the pole at the moment, set by Lewis Bellicky. He comes round in towards Stavolo. gets a bit of a slide on as he comes through the final part of the corner, trying to carry as much speed and momentum as the car will let him bring through. And Horsing now is going to come up to Blanchimont flat out. He's going to have that big lift in a moment, especially here in the wet. He'd probably be flat in these cars through Blanchimont in the dry, but in the wet, maybe a touch of the brakes was that there for Horsing. Manages to keep two wheels on the curb, all nicely done. And they're just under that lap time of being able to get another lap on the board. Lewis Bellicky is coming towards the line. And he has returned to the pit lane, so he will not improve. He has decided to call that one a day. What about Patrick Thompson? Here, though, comes Lorenz Horsing then, and stays P4. Vlad Tokarev moves up into second place, and is only separated by 0.3 of a second. Here's Borges Zorzo, currently down in 13th now, as Miguel Cuenca goes above him, as does Ciro Zambra. What can Borges Zorzo do as he comes towards the line? P14 at the moment, and improves, but stays P14 for the time being. Diego Salinas Garza and Felix Votter, as Felix Votter moves up to P9. Here comes Augustin Torlacci, pretty much the last lap for him. What is his lap time going to be? He crosses the line. Is it any improvement? Just wait to update. He does improve, but it keeps him 14th place. Only misses out by just under a 10th then. And Diego Salinas Garza, no lap time on the board for him. He will drop down into P16 place. So him and Gerard Sardini, no lap times on the board for them. Borges Zorzo, the last man with a lap time on the board, 15th place, and currently 5.8 off that pole time. But it is Lewis Bellicky who is provisional, is pole position, because everybody's returning to the pits, and that qualifying session will come to an end. There is a minute left, but when we get to that 12-minute mark, it will end the lap. So what these drivers are possibly looking for at the end of this session is maybe that little bit of track time, just to find, again, a better line, maybe find a few overtaking lines, have a look at where some of the grip is for these cars, have a look at what the car will do on different lines throughout the circuit, because you never know where you're going to be defending or attacking or just looking to do your normal racing lines, and seeing where the quickest part of the circuit is, where the grip through the circuit is as well. So a great pole out there for Lewis Bellicky. Vlad Tokarev, second place, just under 0.4 of a second behind Lewis Bellicky, so he's not far off the pace. We saw Bellicky drop into the 209s, 2:10.2 for Vlad Tokarev. Patrick Thompson, 0.3 behind him with a 3:10.5. And again, when you look from Vlad to down the order, it is pretty close between a few of the drivers. There's a second actually separating third from eighth. And that's Patrick Thompson, Lorenz Horsing, Oya Zamaloa, Roger Christensen, Tobias Crooken and Carlos Moreira. So pretty close in that midfield pack as well. So it's going to be an interesting one to see. Gerard Sardini has gone ahead of Diego Salinas Garza, but we'll bring you the full classification when we have it on screen. I believe we can bring it to you now. It is Lewis Bellicky who takes that pole position from Vlad Tokarev. Row 2 will be Patrick Thompson from Lorenz Horsing. Row 3, Oya Zamaloa from Roger Christensen. Row 4, Tobias Crooken from Carlos Moreira. Row 5 then is Felix Votter from Matthias Pentilla. Row 6, Ciro Zambra from Miguel Cuenca. 13th place then on row 7 is that of Ruben Villanova ahead of Augustin Torlacci. 15th place for Borges Zorzo ahead of Gerard Sardini. And Diego Salinas Garza brings up the rear. We're in that wait time where we wait for the drivers to take to the track and make sure they are fully prepared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers we are currently waiting for at the moment to get onto the grid in what will be the start of the first race. Remember, the top 15 drivers will be reversed for this race, so it's going to be crucial to keep an eye on who the top 15 was. And it's based off of a points scoring basis in this one. So there will be 17 drivers, so there will be 14 points up for grabs for last place, and then it will be 32 for the race with no points for fastest lap or for pole position. Everybody is taken to the grid at the moment apart from Borges Zorzo, so hopefully we don't miss him. And he will take to the grid. The safety car will get us underway with a rolling start here in the heavy rain. Probably better having the rolling start than the standing start. And Borges also is now on the grid, and we get the lights on the screen as we get prepared to start this race. And the safety car will now take us away. Bit of tyre preparation there for Lewis Bellicki already as he comes to the bus stop chicane. It's all going to be about who can do what in this one. And it could all be about winning some prize money at the end of the day. So don't forget, the points that you score is what you need after both races to get on that podium or get in that top 5 to take home some prize money. And we exit the bus stop chicane. We're about to go racing for the first time today. Lewis Bellicki has already dropped the throttle and he's already gone. Patrick Thompson's gone with him. Vlad Tokarev has had a poor start as we now turn green. And already, as the lights go off, it is a great start down at the front of the pack for Lewis Bellicki and Patrick Thompson. Oya Zamaloa got ahead of Vlad Tokarev as well. And now Lorenz Horsing is going up the inside through La Source. On that of Vlad Tokarev, everybody's through turn 1 nice and cleanly. At the moment, Ciro Zambra's managed to gain a place. So does Augustin Torlaci. Gerard Sardini moves up into 15th. We've got a couple of cars side by side heading in towards El Rouge. You've got to be brave to do this in the dry. You've got to be crazy to do it in the wet. But look at that. Who's that that's got a run? I believe that's Vlad Tokarev, who has the run potentially over Lorenz Horsing just a little further forward. Got kind of a switchback halfway through El Rouge. Now look, they're 3 wide. Tokarev has gone through. And Crooken now looks to the outside of Horsing as well, as they're all going to try and swamp him down towards Le Com. It is Horsing in the middle. Crooken on the left. Tokarev on the right. 3 wide coming in towards Le Com for the first time. Absolutely great start to this race. And Tokarev tucks back in behind. Crooken moves up to 4th. Horsing manages to hang on to 5th place. And now is Villanova going around the outside there of Sardini, who's trying to come up from the back. He's got ahead of Augustin Torlaci already. Still dramas and battles happening throughout this race at the moment. There is Carlos Moreira on camera now, looking up the inside of that of Tokarev. Trying to defend, that is from Christensen behind in the Astro racing car. And already great battles here. Here is Villanova around the outside then of Pentilla. Did they just touch a little bit? Pentilla's very, very slow. And now Villanova, who is under pressure, has got the... I believe that is Sardini. Yes, it is. And there is Torlaci in behind as they look to come through up the inside of Blanchimont. Just being squeezed a little wide. Maybe a small bit of contact. Salinas Garza is out of this race. He's back in it, so that may be a connection problem for Salinas. We'll keep our eyes on that. But Borges also is now looking to attack Torlaci. They fought each other in the Challenger League last season. Vott has got ahead of Christensen as well. And Villanova tucks back in behind, but Lewis Bellicki already in this race has just left them in their dust out front. And Lorenz Horsing then has got a bit of work to do to get on the back of the leaders. There you see the conditions, the rain and the spray sliding through Stavolo, coming onto the back part of the circuit. And this is absolutely fantastic drama from all of these drivers. And it's Crooken at the minute who's doing the business in P6, trying to hunt down Tokarev. At the moment then, everybody through nice and cleanly. That looks like Horsing's having a look at Zamaloa then, a little further up the field. Here's Ciro Zambra down in 10th. And who's that making a good lunge? Is that Sardini going around up the inside and around the outside, then up the inside of Pentilla then? Believe it is, but I don't think he's managed to come out of this one on top. Horsing's having a fight up front. There is Gerard Sardini. Down in 13th place in the red and white car on the outside then. Looking around the outside of La Source. Not a bad line to take. Doesn't get the best of exits out of there. And that is car number 12. That is Pentilla. The pink and black car. Just ahead of him. And in the slipstream, let's listen at how much he's going to lift. Coming up towards El Rouge. He's going to have a look up the inside. No, he's not. Backs out of that one. Sardini feeling brave already. Back on the power at the top of the hill. Villanova's got ahead of Borgia Zarzo then. And Horsing got past Zamaloa for P3. Thompson's gaining on the rear of Belicky here. Horsing, just interesting to see the different lines with the puddles appearing. Here is Horsing. Staying ahead of Zamaloa just for the time being. Two privateer drivers. Now Tokarev's having a look in the background. Don't forget, top 5 take the prize money home with them today. Zarzo's got ahead of Villanueva. So is Salinas Garza then. So Villanueva down 4 places at the moment. You've seen drivers on the timing screen flash up with a few off tracks. That's as they come through No Name and just running a little too far out wide. Moreira defending from, attacking the back of Crooken. Nearly running into the back of him. And that is Miguel Cuenca, who span around at Puon. Borges Orzo might be able to get him on the exit of the corner here. He's going to try and come side by side. Hopefully we can bring a few replays of what happened to him there, but he's tumbled down the order. Lost 3 places as as what has come to him after that spin. That is Villanueva going very wide, trying to get onto the back of Salinas Garza. Here's Tobias Crooken, currently running P6 in the race for the Sim Racing Centre team. And a few off-tracks, in fact, no off-tracks flashing up there. I thought that was over the limits, but no off-tracks flashed up on the timing screen for Moreira Orvota in behind. And Tokarev is going side by side now towards Blanchimont. No, he's not. He's already passed that of Zamaloa. So that then for Oya Zamaloa drops him down another place after he'd been passed by Horsing. And now Tokarev, a man who's had practice in these conditions 2 weeks ago. And for Vlad Tokarev here in this one, it's going to be an interesting day for him. Torlachi has moved up to P12. Pentilla's in the pit lane, not sure why. But for Mateus Pentilla, he's into the pits. I haven't seen anything flash up for a drive-through penalty. So I'm not sure what this could be. Here's Belicky, who's had a moment. Up there, Rouge and Radion. And he's dropping down the order. Apologies, missed that. Something in the eye. So Luis Belicky there then has had a big moment through El Rouge and Radion. He's tumbled down to 6th place. He might now even be 7th, as that is Carlos Moreira who has got past him. Felix Vott is now going to be on the back of him, but that's surely a moment on his own. Patrick Thompson was close, did set the fastest lap last time out by 0.3 of a second. We saw it was about 0.6 last time we saw them two on circuit. Hopefully we can bring a replay of what happened there. So it's Thompson now from Horsing. Vlad Tokarev currently running in P3. Fastest lap of the race, a 3:11.0. So just showing the difference of having them cars on the circuit and not having them there. Obviously the solo qualifying, them being able to put in better lap times at the moment. And Belicky just looking a little twitchy through No Name and gets an off track. So you just see how wide he runs there. That's picked him up a bit of an off track then. Now in towards Blanchimont for Belicky. He comes once again. And I believe he's at Vlad Tokarev just a little further forward. It is, yeah, on the back of Horsing. That is just over half a second. And there's a huge train behind Horsing here. He's 1.2 behind Thompson. And then every car behind him all the way down to Roger Christensen in 9th. And who is that wide? I believe that is Vlad Tokarev. It is. And that puts Zamaloa back up into P3. So I was just about to say behind Horsing. Then there is a train forming behind him. Belicky looking up the inside of Moreira. Can't get it done. And he's still looking very, very fighty. Is Luis Belicky in the background? They're both very wide. Off track for Luis Belicky, popping up on the timing screens now then. That was to put him a little wider than what we saw a few moments to go. And it's interesting to see where these off-tracks are popping up on the timing screens here. That'll give them a little bit of a slowdown, I do believe. As Tokarev now putting Zamaloa under some immense pressure as they come towards the bus stop chicane. Christensen and Ciro Zambra picking up a couple of off-tracks as well. And Tokarev then managing to defend, but here comes Bellicky in the background looking up the inside of Moreira. Did he get it done? Yes, he did. Goes a little wide on the exit of the bus stop chicane. And Bellicky, manages to get the move done. Tokarev as well got back up into P3. And Zamaloa now is coming around the outside of the source. And now there's all of a sudden a train. These have got that gap to 1.9, just over 2 seconds, to Orsing up front and off track for Tokarev and Zamaloa then in third and fourth. And then behind them, it is pretty much every car within a second. Down to Roger Christensen again. Villanueva in the pit lane. So Matthias Pentilla pitted earlier. And he's now back out on track. This is now Crooken, who's having a bit of a run. No off tracks for Eau Rouge and Radion. Down the camel straight then. Here is Zamaloa. And now, who's that? Is that Tokarev, who's possibly had a slowdown? He's pulled to that inside line. He wasn't really under pressure there from Zamaloa. I didn't see an off-track on screen. So I'm not sure what happened to Vlad Tokarev coming through Radion then. And what are we? We are 10 minutes into this race. We have got a couple of replays. This is the start of the race here. And this was a great start for Lewis Bellicky then. Down the front of the pack he goes into La Source. Couple three abreast as they came through. It was a nice clean start, nice clean getaway from everybody. And watch for, I believe it was Tokarev and possibly Orsing coming through Eau Rouge, because they put on an absolute blinder coming through this part of the circuit. Just see, look, there is Tokarev, who just got a run through this down the order. A couple of cars just bumping doors. I believe that's the number 12. That was Pentilla there then, with, not sure who that's with, but that pushed him out wide. This is Orsing on Zamaloa then. This is Villanueva, who had his moment. That's why we saw him tumble down the standings. And that makes why Cuenca managed to, had that spin, and it was a drive-through penalty. It was for Pentilla. Bellicky all on his own, look, up Eau Rouge, well held from Lewis Bellicky there. Look at this on board, just hits a puddle, full lock to the left, bang, catch it back round. That is well saved from Lewis Bellicky. This is from Thompson's point of view. He just sees the white Apex Racing Academy car just sideways, and well held. Here is Felix Votter then, down in P11 at the moment. Don't forget the points go from 32 all the way down to 14th place in this, and it's about the points you accumulate over them two races that you will score. Bellicky's got past Zamaloa. That's at the final chicane. He's gone up the inside to Lewis Bellicky on a charge now. Wants to get back onto the podium. All of a sudden as well, just looking at the last lap times on the timing screen, Orsing has taken half a second out of Patrick Thompson. Bellicky is just on the fastest lap, the first man into the 3-minute 10s. So he's on a charge. Thompson has a bit of an off-track on the exit of turn 1. Villanueva is circling again. He is back out on the circuit. Bellicky there in the Apex Racing Academy, as is Patrick Thompson. So part of the same team outside of these solo events. I'd love a 1-2, I'm sure. Here's Felix Votter. He's right on the back of Sardini, coming up through Eau Rouge. They go. A drive-through for Carlos Moreira, who's currently running P7. That is for an incident with Felix Votter on lap 4. It is a drive-through penalty for Carlos Moreira. He is 7th place. Here comes Votter then. He's already got past Sardini, going into Le Com. Through he goes, easy as you like. in this race at the moment. So Carlos Moreira, who is now showing P5, he's got a drive-through penalty. This might be why he's P5. Crooken and Christensen having a great little scrap down towards the hairpin. Crooken's not going to mind taking that wide line through there. A little bit more grip. You see the slide from Christensen on the exit of the corner. That's allowed Crooken to keep hold of that place. They both just get an off-track pop-up on their screen. So Crooken, at the moment, doing what he needs to do. He's coming down in towards Puon. This is the battle behind. This is Ciro Zambra, currently in P9. With Zamaloa going past, and Ciro's going to try and tuck back up the inside. And this could be a great switchback from Ciro. No, it's not. It's Zambra who's wide. Round he goes, good 360, catches it. I got the cars the wrong way around. It was Zamaloa who did the great undercut and switched back. Now Lewis Belicky, another man who's on a mission, going side by side with Vlad Tokarev, round the outside of Campus. And gets it done, gets an off track though for just running a little wide through there. Into Stavolo now. Again, just all over the curb. That is Moreira over the curb as well. No off track for Moreira there, so that's interesting. So Tokarev down to 4th. At the moment, that's not going to hurt him. That's 27 points in offer for Vlad Tokarev. Top 5 get prize money in this race. Let's not, or in this session. 2 races to come today, let's not forget, as Belicky now just starting to pull away from Tokarev, but it is 32 points for a race win, all the way down to 14 points for 17th place. No points for fastest lap or pole position. Tokarev, I'm sure, is enjoying fighting against the big boys. He won the Challenger League event, and we've got Horsing and Thompson fighting it out. Moreira battling with with Vlad Tokarev here as well. He's got a drive-through penalty to take as Moreira. I believe he's got to take it within 3 laps, so he's got a drive-through at some point in this race. Christensen and Crooken in the background still going at it, but this is Moreira with a drive-through penalty to his name, who is on the back of Vlad Tokarev. Vlad Tokarev in the bright red car. And that is an off-track for both of them two there as they go on to the AstroTurf on the outside of turn 1. Horsing, last lap, 3/10 quicker than Patrick Thompson in this race last time around. Lewis Belicky once again in the 3-minute 10s and overtook Vlad Tokarev in that lap. We have a few more replays we can show you now as Tokarev is actually side by side with Moreira. This then is in towards Puon. That's a big moment. Not sure who that is. Lost the rear wing. Is that Villanueva? This is Moreira on Vota then. That is what the penalty is for. This is Lewis Belicky up the inside of Zamaloa at the final chicane. And again, this is him on Tokarev, setting him up through the chicane itself, through 12 and 13. And look, just sets him up round the outside, has that inside line for the next part. Lewis Belicky showing us a masterclass in driving here. This is the end of that battle. There is Patrick Thompson, cool and calm as you like at the moment. He's got Horsing on the back of him within 4/10. There is a handful of minutes left, about 7 minutes left in this race. Your order is Patrick Thompson, Lorenz Horsing from Lewis Belicky. Belicky's 2.8 behind, but last time out was 9/10 of a second quicker than the race leader. So he's flying at the minute. Carlos Moreira has got to come in. He's got 2 laps now left to do his drive-through penalty and is no longer right up the rear end of Vlad Tokarev. That gap's open up to 1.5 seconds. Christensen is within 2/10 of Crooken. And Salinas Garza is on the back of Borja Zarzo down the bottom end of the order. But this is your race leader and second place. And Patrick Thompson just ahead of Lorenz Horsing then. This is looking forward from P2. You just see that spray kicking up all over the front windscreen, making the visibility for the driver a little harder. Lifting through Blanchimont, back on that power, not fully. They both managed to keep that in-track limits. Lewis Belicky gets a off-track there, pop up on the timing screens, as does Moreira. Will we see Moreira dive into pit lane? Thompson, at the moment, hanging on in there. He's doing well so far. 3:11.3 for Thompson last time out, 3:11.4 for Horsing last time out. What about that of Lewis Bellicky? A 3:12.7, so he lost a bit of time. Herrera in the pits for that drive-through penalty. This is Crooken, who's looking to the inside. Sorry, this is Christensen, who's going to look up the inside of Crooken. Crooken gives him the space. They turn in now. Can he get it switched back underneath? He can. Has he got alongside in front end? No, he hasn't. Now he's going to flick to the inside line as they come towards El Rouge. Crooken there, you just heard, had a bit of a lift at the for the time being there. Just patience on the power, clips the puddle, hangs onto it. And now once again can keep going, keep the pressure on Christensen. They've swapped positions, they'll be looking to change back once again. That slipstream down the camel straight towards the com. This is exactly what Crooken's going to need. He's going to look to that inside line on Christensen. They're side by side. They're going to hit the brakes now. Christensen moves back in front under brake, and he's going to try and hold it around the outside at the first part and gets it done. Braver on the brakes, and Christensen moves back up to P5. A few battles happening elsewhere on the circuit. Augustin Torlaci's just got ahead of that is Cuenca, and he's now going around the outside of Pentilla. Torlaci making up a couple of places late on in this race. Herrera came out P9 after his drive-through penalty, so that was interesting to see. Battle for the lead well and truly on though as well. That's down to 0.4 of a second. Last time around, the top three kind of matched each other. 0.2 in it here and there. Both the front two get an off track. Bellicky 2.8 off the lead, 2.6 off his next challenger of Horsing. Here is Horsing now. Just see the rear of Thompson just sliding a little bit out the chicane into Campus. Bit of a slide there from Horsing. That's cost him time sliding in towards Campus there, just letting the car drift too much through the corner. Now he's got to put that work back in to get onto the rear end of Thompson. You just hear him coming and coming. Let's listen through Blanchimont. Big old lift, you see him there as he put the power down. The minute he put the accelerator down to the floor just to ease it in, the car just wanted to twitch on the rear. That's cost him a bit of time. And while ever these two drivers making little mistakes at the moment, this is going to allow Bellicky to catch back up. And I believe this is going to be the white flag we're going to see flying from the marshal. Torlaci's got back out of Pentilla down the order. And the white flag, yes, does fly. It is the final lap of the race. And Thompson didn't get a great run out of the final chicane. Here come the two leaders then. It is Thompson for Apex Racing Academy versus Horsing, the privateer. Thompson keeps having one hand off the wheel every now and again. Is he having a few headset problems? Not sure. Hands are back on the wheel when they need to be. Oh, he's wide. He's very wide through El Rouge. And is this the chance that Horsing needed? A little wiggle from Thompson. Did they just make a bit of contact? And Horsing takes the lead of this race. And Lewis Bellicky is now within 1.7. So Thompson's got to try and come back at him here then. In this one. Waving the arms is Patrick Thompson. Not sure why. But has he just made a mistake? He did his PB last lap. But was still 0.3 slower than Horsing. And all of a sudden, Lewis Bellicky's within 1.5 seconds. In fact, he's within 1.2 of that of Thompson. Thompson, who's led and has been very dominant since Bellicky's spin. Again, a little moment on the curb there for Patrick Thompson. And this could be huge at the start of this race. Top 5 are the drivers you want to keep your eyes on in terms of points at the moment. Here comes Patrick Thompson then, down towards P1. Can't get it done. And now, one thing to just point out, and I've just seen it pop up, is that if Horsing cannot connect his camera or prove that his camera has been connected, you won't score prize money, so he's got to make sure that's connected. You can see that he's not there. He's gone wide of the chicane. Thompson's going to go through his Belicky. He's now right on the back for P2. And all of a sudden, in this last lap, it again swings around and changes. Thompson pushing the limits, nearly losing the rear. And now Belicky's on the rear of Horsing. The drivers have to have camera footage to prove it is them, obviously, that is driving the car. And Belicky now fancies a sniff back at P2. Horsing's going to make his life hard. He's got caught on the curb and can't get back onto the circuit. And here he comes. He still managed to keep the car up the inside as they come towards Blanchimont in this final lap. It is Herzing versus Belicky. Belicky on the inside. Contact made. Belicky's going to go around. Has he held on to it? Not this time. He does not. Into the wall. Tokarev's going to claim P3. But it is going to be Patrick Thompson who will take the race win here. Looked like he threw it away early on in the lap. Comes back for the race win. And that is 32 points. Horsing, will be in P2. Tokarev, P3. Kruken will take home P4. And then it will go the way of Roger Christensen. What a race this was. Absolutely fantastic. P6 for Zamaloa, Votta P7, Moreira P8, Lewis Belicky down in 9th place at the end of that one. So he's gone from the chance of 29 points all the way down to the receiving 22. After that, then it was Gerard Sardini, Ciro Zambra P11, Matthias Pentilla was P12, Miguel Cuenca P13, Augusti Torlacci, 14th place. Borges also 15th from Diego Salinas Garza and Ruben Villanova, who had that big damage down in P17. But what an end to that race. Patrick Thompson looked like he threw it away at El Rouge at the first part of the lap. Managed to somehow recover, hold on to the car and get back onto the rear end of Lorenz Horsing, who then had his own mistake at the chicane towards the end of the lap, and that allowed Thompson through and invited Belicky onto the rear end, who was all over the curb just before Blanchimont. Managed to get it back onto the track. No off-tracks popped up on the timing screen, and what we saw there was fantastic from him because he got up the inside. There was contact made, and I've got a feeling race control are going to class that one as a racing incident, but what we saw there was absolutely outstanding racing. It was really great to see, great to watch, and what an end. We saw drama in the first race 2 weeks ago in the Challenger League race. That was absolutely epic and absolutely fantastic. And drama here, that for Belicky, chance of 29, 28 points for that third place. He crossed the line P9, gives him 22 points. But now, this is where it doesn't end. The reverse grid comes into play. And I'm just going to get confirmation in my ear because there is only 17 drivers. I believe it is still top 15 who are reversed. I'll await for confirmation in that in my ear. If that is the case, Belicky will start towards that sharp end of the grid while his rivals stand at the back. So a reminder at the moment, top five drivers take home prize money. The results: so Patrick Thompson from Lorenz Horsing, Vlad Tokarev from Tobias Kruken, Roger Christensen, that is then Oya Zamaloa, then it was Felix Votta, Gerard Sardini, Ciro Zambra, Matthias Pentilla, Miguel Cuenca, Augustin Torlacci, Borges Arzo. Then it is Carlos Moreira, who had that drive-through penalty, Lewis Belicky, Diego Salinas Garza, and Ruben Villanova. So Belicky classed as 15th there at the end of this race, so lower down than I thought. So again, just a wait to see, is it top 15 that is reversed? If so, Belicky will be on pole for that next race. But then if you finish 15th place, that means he scored 16 points, which is not where he'd have wanted to score in that one. Belicky 15th, the timing screen said 9th, so I'm not sure. Right, so what we're being told is he's possibly gone over his incident limit on iRacing, which is what he's received and potentially a penalty for, which has demoted him down the order. So that's what we're possibly being told. That is the possibility of why Lewis Bellicki is down in 15th. So it's now gone from bad to worse. What was 22 is now 16 points for the top 5. Thompson, Horsing, then it was Tokarev, Kruken, and then Christensen. 32, 29, 28, 27, 26. Top 5 receive the prize money. It is €175 for the race win, 125 for second place, 75 for third, 50 for fourth, and 25 for fifth. And again, drivers have to make sure that their webcam or whatever their phone is working and is connected. The guys in the back room, the broadcasters and the producers all in the back room will be making sure they have the link to the cameras. You can see a few of the drivers, you'll notice their cameras pop up. If they don't have the camera, they won't win the prize money. We didn't see Horsing's camera. That's a little concerning. You'd hope that he has it connected, and if he does have it connected, brilliant, because it means he can go again in that next race and he can really try to put on a show for us to try and take home that prize money. But once again, Thompson, Horsing, Tokarev, Kruken, Christensen, your top 5. Tokarev third. Bearing in mind 2 weeks ago, he won the Challenge League and got to take home €100. He's now racing. I think it was an open invitation for some of the Challenger League drivers to come and participate today, because the requirement is your iRating needs to be 4,500 or better. Tokarev, who has a 3,181 iRating, is Challenger League, but he came to take part today, and absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to see. What a race, what an end we have. Now, I can confirm it is a top 15 grid order. It has just changed on the timing screens in front of me. We'll be able to bring you full confirmation of that grid order when we get it on screen. And you have to say as well, Lewis Bellicki threw away that race. He made that mistake earlier on. It is Lewis Bellicki, though, who leads from Carlos Moreira. That is the front row of the grid. Borges Arzo will go from Augustin Torlacci for third and fourth. P5 is Miguel Cuenca. P6, Matthias Pentilla. Seventh place for Ciro Zambra with Gerard Sardini in eighth. Ninth for Felix Votta. Oye Zamaloa will be P10. Roger Christensen going from 11th. Tobias Crooked from 12th. Vlad Tokarev will be in P13. There we go. Vlad Tokarev, P13, from Lorenz Horsing in P14. Then it'll be Patrick Thompson, Diego Salinas Garza, and Ruben Villanueva in P17 at the back on his own. And we then are about ready to go here for this second race. Again, 25 minutes. Just waiting. Carlos Moreira, who has now just gone to the back of my order. I think Carlos Moreira has missed the start here. His name is not lit up white on my timing screen, so I think he's missed the start. Yes, he has. We're underway. Safety car procedure. So now then, that promotes, I believe, Borges Zarzo. No, he's behind Bellicki. That's Augustin Torlacci, who's going to have a car disappeared in front of him. That's going to be crucial for him in this one. And if Carlos Moreira, who got that drive-through penalty for an instant, is out of this race, well, that's going to be devastating to see 16 cars to end the day. Lewis Bellicki has decided to already drop the throttle. He's gone. Augustin Torlacci trying to go with him. Borges Arzo now side by side as we go green for race 2 here. And it is all go down towards the source of turn 1. Bellicki in the lead of this one comes in. Borges Arzo ahead of Torlacci, who tries to get the switch back. Tucks underneath. Did he get the exit? They just banged doors a little bit there. Do Torlacci and Borges Arzo. Go, 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 says Thomas in the chat. Indeed it is. And they're all still side by side as they funnel through towards El Rouge for the first time in this race, and up they climb. They're all going to then fill in single file, and Torlacci managed to get back ahead of Borges Arzo. He's had a wiggle mid El Rouge, and Zarzo's going to come back at him. That is the 91 car of Zamaloa. Here is Lewis Bellicki. You see Borges Arzo looking to go side by side with that of Torlacci. Torlacci's also trying to defend. That is from Miguel Cuenca in that green and red car. You've also got Pentilla and Sardini in this. They're 3 wide, heading down towards Le Combe for the first time in this race. And who's going to be later on the brakes? It's going to be Cuenca up the inside of Torlacci. And Zarzo splits him around the outside, has to cut the grass and has taken to the escape road. He's going to have to yield them places, surely, is Borges Arzo there. But it's Lewis Bellick. He'll be glad that he's out of these dramas. Sardini and Pentilla are still in these fights. Pentilla now side by side with Augustin Torlacci. Sorry, Sardini side by side with Torlacci. Pentilla, did he just tap Torlacci up the rear end there? And who's that round? That is Gerard Sardini into the wall. And he returns to the pits. That could be the end of his day. Moreira already out of this race as well, but Sardini returns to the pit lane. That is his day over. Oh, Torlacci, big moment. Will he hang on to it? He will, but he's gone very, very wide. Watch the rejoin as the cars come flying past him. There was someone else off at Pouon there. Not sure who. There they are. They've rejoined. I believe that is Christensen. Here's Ciro Zambra, who's going around the outside of the rejoining Christensen. And that's Vlad Tokarev, 2 cars back with Thompson in between him and Christensen. Where is Horsing at the moment? He's up to P5, so he's having a great start to his race here. Porsche is also currently running in 3rd. He's got Pentilla right on the rear of him. Gonna look to just get close towards Blanchimont. Can't do it through there. That's not gonna work. And now that poor run for Pentilla through Blanchimont has allowed Horsing to have a look on the back of him, coming towards the bus stop chicane. And look at this traffic. Here is Roger Christensen then, working hard over Thompson and other cars. Tokarev's involved in that as well. Sardini out, Moreira out. They've missed this race. That is a shame to see. And who's that making a move just by Pentilla? It's Votter and Horsing going at it. Thompson then and Christensen are also having a little battle. So this is great to see. This is the view of Vlad Tokarev then. Nearly 3 wide between Thompson, Christensen and Zamaloa. Zamaloa going up the inside. Tokarev will cleverly get off the throttle there and just patiently wait. Goes as close to the apex of the next part as he can. Thompson gets a great run over Christensen. That's a lovely move up El Rouge. And did Tokarev try and follow him through and get a run as well? No, he did not. Borges already defending the inside line over that of Pentilla. In fact, yeah, Pentilla's got in front. Has he by enough? Yes, he has. Will he get it done on the brakes? Yes, he does. And Quenza, by the way, putting pressure on Bellicky, the leader of this race, because Bellicky made a mistake somewhere. He was a second quicker last time round. We've had the first lap. This is lap 2. Zamaloa, P7, has got Ciro Zambra hunting him down on the rear end of him. Horsing's now got past Zarzo. And this might open the floodgates for Votter to come through as well. Zarzo might have the better grip on the outside. Manages to hang on over Votter, but Horsing moves up to P4. He has got his camera on now. That's great to see. Horsing second place, don't forget, so he took 29 points in race 1. And it's going to be interesting to see what he can take here in this second race then. At the moment, P4, that'll give him 27 points to go to his 29. That'll be 46 points to his name. That's Borges very wide though. And he's going to tumble down the order. Horsing through Votter, Zamaloa, Zambra, Thompson, Tokarev, all through, but not Christensen. The man who was P5. Looking up the inside is Christensen. They just rubbed doors. Zarzo being pushed wide a little bit. Christian still there. Nothing wrong with that. A bit of door rubbing. Absolutely great racing. Borges also probably has the better line. He's got back ahead of Christensen. Here comes Torlacci on the back of Christensen now then. Roger Christensen, the Norwegian, just tumbling down the order a little bit. Horsing moves up into P3, so that's going to give him 28 points to go with his 29. That'll put him on 57. There's Thompson. Race 1 winner. He'd love to take some prize money home with him today. So the first laps was after the out lap, 3:15, the best one for Lewis Bellicki out front. Tokarev going up the inside of Ciro. Zambra, who's that wide? Believe that was Ciro, who was wide himself. And look at this now, Zorzo and Torlachi with Christensen. And Crooken's trying to follow Christensen through, and Torlachi's going to try and go back up the inside. Now jigs back to the outside, and Crooken manages to come up his inside line. No contact made, but Torlachi all over the circuit. Crooken tucks underneath. Has he got the momentum out of the source to get the move done? No, he hasn't. But a great fight here then. Pentilla running in P5 at the moment, having a bit of a scrap on the rear end of Zamaloa. Up through El Rouge they go for the third time. Bellicki, 3:14.0. Cuenca, 3:13.9. But he's now coming under pressure from Horsing. Pentilla still looking on the back of Zamaloa. This is for 4th and 5th. So a chance at some big points. Tucked back in. Vlad Tokarev's going to have a look at the back on of Thompson. In between them is Vota to Thompson and Pentilla. 3 for the lead, then this gaggle of 4. Ciro Zambra trying to get onto the back. Further back, look, you've got Christensen, who scored top 5 points. He's looking around the outside of Borges also. A bit of door banging again. Absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that. And Christensen around the outside moves up another place. Great drive from him. And you just hear this corner, you have to wait on that throttle on the best of days in the wet. It's just even worse. Horsing, by the way, up 11 spots already in this race. Let's take a look at a few replays then that happened earlier in the race. This is the race start. On the left-hand side of your screen, live action down in the bottom right. It was a great race start. Torlachi tries to tuck back underneath Borges Zarzo, and did to great execution from the Argentinian driver. Seeing on the live action screen as well, look, Lewis Bellicki just being able to pull away from Cuenca and Horsing here. This is Zarzo trying to come back at Torlachi with Cuenca down towards Lecomte. 3 wide, they split. Torlachi, Cuenca makes the corner. Zarzo takes to the grass. He had to yield the position back to Cuenca. Sardini's moment, and it looks like he just drops a wheel, look, on the AstroTurf on the outside, all on his own in the wall, and that was the end of his day. This is Borges Zarzo's moment then through the chicane, and he just drops that wheel onto the curb as he's trying to rejoin, and you just see him lose that rear. And as the live action, look at this, they're 3 wide coming down towards Blanchimont. That is Thompson, Vota, Pentilla all involved. Vlad Tokarev's watching on as well. So a great scrap between these 4. And who's out wide? That is Vota wide. Thompson's going to go through. They managed not to make contact. Pentilla, Tokarev and Zambra watching on from the background. But Thompson now moves up into P5. Vota makes the mistake, gets right onto the rear bumper of Thompson and does nothing about it there. Tries to get the better exit out of the bus stop chicane. And so far, so good for Tokarev in this, for Thompson in this race. Vota down in 6th now. Thompson, race 1, race winner, 32 points. He's now up into 5th. That's going to give him 26. It's going to put him on 58. Possible race winner at the moment in this day. So a good day for Thompson. Ciro Zambra in 9th. On the back of Vlad Tokarev. Thompson's going side by side. Who he's out with is out Vota once again, coming up through El Rouge. I believe that him and Thompson were side by side. Have they got the overlap done? Look at this. Horsing's moved up into 2nd. Cuenca's now coming under pressure once more again from this time Zamaloa, who's got ahead on the timing screens, and Cuenca tucks back in behind. Thompson managed to hang on in there over Pentilla. Over Vota. Pentilla's still looking, Tokarev looking, Ciro Zambra in this pack as well. And then we go further back to another battle. Borges Orzo, Christensen, Torlachi and Crooken. Torlachi's going to try and go around the outside of Christensen, inside for the next part. Great move, Augustin Torlachi. Really hard and clean racing from all of these drivers. It's been fantastic to watch so far today. Really has been an absolute masterclass from everybody. This is brilliant. Lewis Belicki leads this race then. And is so far 2.1 seconds out front. But Zamaloa last time around, fastest lap of the race. Here's Horsing, up 12 places. And what a day he's had. That is Patrick Thompson in the wall. And who's with him? Believe it is Votter. That is at Pouon. And that is huge for this championship, for this prize money at the end of this race. They're now falling into the path of Borja Zarzo. And how huge is that one? Here is Crooken looking up the inside of Torlachi, who's back on the rear wing then of Borja Zarzo. Crooken losing out again to Christensen. On the back is Villanueva here. Fastest lap still Zamaloa with a 3:11.5. We saw Belicki get into the 3:10s. His last lap was only a 3:11.7. Torlachi looking up the inside, coming towards Blanchimont, gets out of that, tucks back in behind him. Borja Zarzo, huge wiggle, was there contact with Torlachi? Torlachi allows him to rejoin. This is a fantastic second race here in these tricky conditions. Borja Zarzo to the outside. And now has Thompson got a run? No, he hasn't. He's going to tuck back in. Borja Zarzo on the outside, on the left-hand side of your screen in that mint green car. Augustin Torlachi just in front. This is on board with Villanueva. Down towards turn one. Christensen pulls out. Torlachi pulls out. Crooken still sat kind of in the middle of the road as Villanueva gets very close. Now Christensen looks to tuck underneath that of Torlachi and that of Borja Zarzo. And are they going to make this three wide coming towards El Rouge? This is on board Crooken then. And look at Torlachi in the middle, squeezing Christensen to the wall, fighting his way through. Who is going to yield on this one? Nobody yields. Contact inevitable. And Zarzo and Christensen round. Torlachi somehow from the middle of the track gets away with that one. But nobody wanted to yield there. And it has gone from bad to worse for Christensen. Down to 15th place. The man who was on 26 points is going to score not enough, you imagine, in this one. Oh, wow. You have to feel there for Christensen, who is out of this race. He's returned to the pit lane. Belicki 2 seconds clear now. Still Zamaloa fastest lap of the race. That counts for nothing, let's not forget. Whoa. What a battle. Nobody gave an inch. I hope we can grab a replay of that. That was fantastic. Just over 10.5, just under 10.5 minutes left in this race. Nobody yielded a place. What a view to be on there. On board Tobias Crooken. To see that unfold, that was fantastic. That was some really good racing. Until the contact was made, that was inevitable that was going to happen. Crooken now, P11, on the back of Torlachi. Oh, they both lost it. All on their own. Crooken and Torlachi drop the rear. Must have hit a puddle or a patch of water. And they both drop the rear, pushing too hard through Pouon. And around they go. This race has brought us everything. It has brought us absolutely everything here. Pentilla, P7, that isn't off track. That's a little wide. It's not come up on the timing screen, so he's obviously got away with that one. He is running P7. The man who's sitting in the hot seat at the moment is that of Horsing. 29 points and potentially another 29 points to his name. That'll put him on 58. Who won the race? That was Thompson. He is down in 9th. That's only going to score him 22 to go with his 32. Stewards will take a look at these incidents, no doubt, and will penalise accordingly. Christensen out this race, Sardini out this race, Moreira never took to the start, and here comes Votter looking on the back of Pentilla here then. This is Salinas Garza going side by side with Kruken. After his spin, Borges Orzo's in the background. There you see Augustin Torlachi. Vlad Tokarev, P5, by the way, 3-minute 10.9. These is a dual spin. This is Patrick Thompson and I can't remember who the second driver is. It is literally as if they're in the ballet together. Look at this. Round they both go, synchronized spinning. Absolutely fantastic there. Lovely few pirouettes. This is the helicopter camera. Look at that. In unison. And the pit car nearly follows them as well. That was brilliant. This is the 3 wide. Nobody yielded. Torlachi tapped the back of Orzo into the back of Christensen, and around they go. And this was the shot we had live on the rear of Kruken. Look at that, 1 into 2, 2 into 3, and 3 does it go. But this is Torlachi and Kruken here. Then again, another not quite in unison through Pooh on there. They both tap each other. But now Salinas Garza defending that inside line. Borges Orzo, that is Cuenca, who is around, rolls it back onto the track. And Ciro Zambra has to take avoided action now onto the grass. Oh my days, this race is bringing even more drama. Votter and Pentilla get through as well. What else is this race going to chuck at us? This has been fantastic. Belicki from Horsing, Zamaloa, Tokarev and Ciro Zambra P5. Just as we go back to the action, Belicki's now lost the lead. Everywhere we look, there's drama happening. Horsing now leads this race. And this is more unpredictable than what Le Mans was this morning. Lorenzo Horsing now leads this race. He got second in the first heat. He leads here in the second heat. And Lewis Belicki, once again, has threw it all away himself. So this for Horsing will pretty much secure the 175 euros, pending any stewards' inquiries. Oh, Cuenca and Pentilla, they're in the wall. I don't quite know what's happening here, but there is just chaos wherever you look. The front bumper has come off the front of Cuenca's car. Pentilla returns to the pit lane. That's promoted everybody else up another spot. That'll help out the likes of Villanueva, Kruken, Orzo, Salinas Garza and Torlachi. Horsing now has got Belicki and Zamaloa gaining on the rear. Tokarev P4. Tokarev could be on for another set of prize money here from Racing Unleashed. Then it's Zambra who's had out the race. Salinas Garza returns to the pit lane now. Not sure what's happened to him. We all need to just catch our breath a minute. Pentilla out. Christensen in the pit. Salinas Garza out. Herrera didn't take the start. Sardini out. And Lewis Belicki on the back of Horsing here. What drama we've had at Spa today. Cuenca's now in the pit lane. That'll promote a few drivers as well. Belicki just being patient, sees a gap, goes for it, no, waits even more. Now does it open up as we come towards Radion? No, it doesn't. A very dangerous part of the circuit with these puddles forming around. Drive-through penalty for Cuenca. It's not going to matter. He's in the pit lane. He's out this race. And here comes Lewis Belicki. Gets the run down the Kemmel Straight. Uses the slipstream. Goes side by side once again with that of Horsing. And down into the lead. Lewis Belicki into Lecom. Now can he keep it there? Just under 5 minutes left in this race. Can Lewis Belicki keep hold of this race lead? A bow front deep. That's obviously the line though through the hairpin, trying to find the grip on the outside. Got a few quick replays to squeeze in. This is Cuenca, had a moment on his own. Look, just dropped a wheel. You see on that painted line and apply the brakes. He let it roll back. Ciro Zambra nearly got caught out. It's been another moment. That's Ciro Zambra on the live action, who's had a moment in live. That is, I believe, Lewis Belicki, am I being told that had his moment. This is Pentia and Cuenca just coming together. Look, Cuenca around the outside. Pentia just forces him off the road, really, and both nose first in toward. This is Diego Salazar Garza on his own. And that is that done. So now Ciro Zambra's had a moment. He's lost out to Votter. This is Zamaloa, who's on the back of Horsing, who's on the back of Belicky. And FV, if that's Fabio Vettier in the chat, enjoying this from Ibiza. Great commentary, Matthew. Thank you very much. But this isn't done by any stretch of the imagination. You thought the finale of F1 in 2021 was dramatic. This isn't done. This three-way fight will go to the end, no doubt. Belicky has to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes at the very end of this, because Horsing and Zamaloa are coming with him. This is great to watch. It's been great all day. Race one, nice, tame, heat. Get the reverse grid, and it's typical reverse grid fashion. If you're used to the reverse grids here in England with the British touring cars, you'll know what chaos they can bring. Here's Thompson getting ahead of Ciro Zambra. Zambra's going to have the inside line though for Blanchimont, as here they come again. Up the inside, Ciro Zambra. No, can't get it done. Thompson goes round the outside. That's put him into 6th place. So what that means is 25 points to go with his 32. I don't think it's enough to beat Horsing, but it's possibly enough to get him 2nd place, if not 3rd place. Prize money, still €75 to take home with him. Tokarev getting on the back of this top 4 as well. This is huge. Belicky now on the white flag lap. This is massive to not make mistakes here. We saw 2 mistakes on the last lap last time around. Lewis Belicky needs to make this as clean as he can. Oh, wiggle for Zamaloa. Coming up, El Rouge. Where's Crooken in this race? Down in 9th. Christensen is out. That's probably him not going to score any prize money. Thompson, we know he's up into P6. Horsing's P2. Tokarev is running in P4. Tokarev could be taking home 2 lots of prize money. Here comes Horsing. Don't throw anything away. Has Lewis Belicky just put himself in the shout for some prize money? Don't throw anything away here, Horsing, because Tokarev behind you could easily take the overall win for the day over the 2 heats. Final lap of this race. What a race it's been. Interesting, the different lines, how tight they all go. Belicky, Horsing, Zamaloa, Tokarev just not with this 3 at the moment. Just not able to hang on in there. Torlachi's got past Borges Arzo for 10th and 11th. I'm on the edge of my seat. This is absolutely fantastic. Anything's going to happen here. 45 seconds in this race has to go. We know it's the final lap. Oh, bit of a slide, Horsing there, coming through Pouon. Looking in though, just try and get onto the back of Belicky here. Not long to go in this race. It's been absolutely fantastic. Closers under braking. Oh, don't tap the rear of him now. This has been fantastic. I hope we have another heavy weather race to come in future challenges, because this has brought fantastic racing both in the Challenge League and in the Racer League. Lewis Belicky now in towards Stavolo for the final time. This has been immense. Borges also has got back past Torlachi. Here comes Belicky. 4 for the lead going into the bus stop. Is Horsing going to think of sending it here? This could be absolutely mad if he does. He's going to have a look up the inside towards the bus stop chicane. He's got alongside him. Belicky tries to squeeze him, gives him the room over the sausage curb. Little wiggle on the back for Horsing. Now Belicky, did he get a great run out the final corner? He does, just enough. Tokarev can't do anything about it. It's a run to the line for 2nd place, but Belicky from Horsing, Zamaloa from Tokarev, they are the 4 to finish top 1 to 4 in this race, while Votter will come home 4P2. This was absolutely amazing. P6 for Thompson, P7 for Ciro Zambra. Holy moly. Crooked will come home for 8th. We've now got to wait for the final confirmation in this race result. And this is what we are waiting for. And this is now going to be huge. We are just waiting for final confirmation on the points, but I think Horsing wins the day from Tokarev. Thompson maybe just hangs in there, with Lewis Belicky finishing 15th, or being classified as 15th in race 1. That was 16 points to take to 32. That is 48. So potentially, there is enough done here for Belicky to get some prize money. Maybe not the top 3, but maybe 50 or 25 euros. I can't believe that race. That was so dramatic. You can see behind me here on the screens just some of the clips of what has happened in that second heat. Absolutely fantastic. Great finish for it, says Florian in the chat. I think future events, we need some more weather, because this has brought two, or I think these two have been the best challenges we've had on iRacing so far this season. While the points are being tallied up, we'll get into the interviews with the top 3 momentarily. We can, though, I believe, show a classification shortly as well. These are a couple of the highlights, and while we all need to catch our breath, because this has been fantastic action in this one. It really has been amazing, and it really was absolutely fantastic to see. Just look at some of this that you can see here. The points are being tallied up. By what I can see on my notes in front of me, depending on race control and everything, obviously, Horsing wins this from Tokarev. Thompson potentially getting that third place from possibly Belicky, if not Crook and Belicky 5th. We've just got to wait and find out, though. It has been all go in this one today. It has been absolutely insane. We are just waiting for final confirmation, not only race results-wise, but also points-wise for the day. And Lorenz Horsing here, 12 places game. That was Borges Arzo going across the grass. Wow. Had a few of them moments in the championships over the years, haven't we, where it's just ebbed and flowed and gone anybody's way. And now it's happening in the iRacing events as well. We have got the race 2 results here. Lewis Belicky wins from Lorenzo Horsing by 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second from Oya Zamaloa, and then 0.6 of a second to Vlad Tokarev. Felix Votter was P5 from Patrick Thompson. Cyril Zambra P7. Tobias Krucken P8. So he will score 23 points. Thompson P6 as well. He'll score himself 25. After Krucken was Ruben Villanova, Borges Arzo, Augustin Torlacci. We lost Miguel Cuenca, Matias Pentilla, Diego Salinas Garza, Roger Christensen, Gerard Sardini, and Carlos Moreira. Never took to the start. Now, for Lewis Belicky as well. He took 32 points in race 2 and 16 points in race 1. Roger Christensen, I don't believe, scores points for race 2 with the retirement from the race. So what I'm looking at here is Thompson is potentially on 57 points. Horsing is on 58. Tokarev on, I believe it's potentially 55, just doing this off the top of my head. And yeah, this Lewis Belicky, 32 plus 16, that's only 48. Krucken, 27, he scores 50. So I believe this is Horsing P1, Thompson P2, from Tokarev 3, Krucken 4, Lewis Belicky 5. That is what I believe. I could be completely wrong. Completely wrong. We're waiting for that classification on that final result. What a day. Look, this was Lewis Belicky in race 1. Look, into the wall at the very end as he nearly got P2. He had that tap there. And then this was the start of race 2. And this is where it really got interesting. Right, I have the results now in front of me. And I can tell you that Lorenzo Horsing will take the race win from Patrick Thompson, Vlad Tokarev, and then it'll be Oya Zamaloa. Forgot to add Zamaloa into that equation, and Felix Votter will then be behind him. So that then is the way this is finished, and that then is the way that will go, and that is where it has been a fantastic day of racing. So once again, it will be Horsing who takes P1 in this series from Thompson P2. I do believe Yes, it was. It was then Vlad Tokarev who was P3. From then, Oya Zamalo at P4. And then Felix Votter will take home P5. We will get the interviews with the top 3 as well. We can speak with Horsing now, who is the overall race winner. Horsing, Lorenz, that was fantastic racing.
Thank you. I enjoyed it so much. Rain is always so much fun, and yeah, the overtakes you can do in the rain around the outside, there's so much grip. You just can't have that in the dry, especially in iRacing. So yeah, it's always super fun in the rain.
Super fun in the rain, and you had to do it the hard way in race 2 by coming further through the field, starting towards the back in that reverse grid race. How difficult was that?
Very difficult. I mean, you have to be super lucky to choose the right lines in order to get the grip and to not get overtaken by the other cars who are in the better line. And I think I managed that pretty well in lap 1, because I think I made over 8-9 positions in that lap, and that's what ultimately got me in the position that I now was. And yeah, consistency obviously was a big part, because I was definitely not the fastest on pace, but I was the most consistent, and I think thanks to that I won.
It looked like at the end of the second race, he was going to give Lewis Bellicki a real run for his money. He looked to go up the inside of the chicane. Was that just to try and take the race win at the end, or did you? Was it just trying to not make sure you hit the back of him?
No, it was sort of a half lunge, because at the beginning I was content with P2. I thought I was in front, but then I saw that Patrick overtook someone, and then I wasn't sure anymore if it would be P1, and obviously if we had the same amount of points, then he would win because he had the P1. So I thought, okay, I had to risk everything in the last lap and try to get the lunge down into the last turn. But yeah, I sort of half backed out and left him room, tried to switch back, but didn't get the traction down. And it was P2, but yeah, in the end, it was enough, luckily. It
was enough. €175 coming your way. You win it by a point. Lorenz, congratulations. Enjoy that one. We hope to see you again in future events here.
You will. Thanks.
Very
bye-bye.
Well done to Lorenz Horsing there then. For the race win, 58 points. He wins it by a point from Patrick Thompson. And he's very happy with that one. And you hear that he had to try and make that lunge at the end, because he wasn't sure where this man was. Patrick, P2 in the end. Race 2, probably not the way you wanted it to go.
Honestly, I had much more fun in race 2, so I don't mind it too much. I mean, it could have been better, but yeah, it was some quite interesting spins out there.
Yeah, a few interesting spins. I think we captured one of yours in unison with another car going round, coming through P1.
Yeah, it looked like, I think it was Felix who also decided. I think maybe he just felt sorry for me and wanted to join me for the ride.
Indeed he did. Great racing though. That first race was fantastic from yourself. Lewis made the mistake that allowed you to take the lead. And then it looked like you'd got it wrong at the end of the first race going up El Rouge. You lost the lead and got it back at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, somehow I managed to make a little mistake myself, and then, you know, coming to the end of it, I had kind of given up on the win, knowing how difficult it is to pass in the rain, especially if you have someone who is quick, just like Lorenz. But apparently my presence was enough to force Lorenz deep into one of the corners coming towards the end of the lap, and yeah. It kind of gifted me the win, but I would gladly take it.
Gladly take it. Second place for yourself today. The rain, the great equaliser, some say, but it was fun out there. It looked really good to watch.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of the rain, but maybe it's just because it's literally my first time, you know, realistically racing in the rain. I haven't had time to figure it out yet, or even drive much in it. So yeah, it was learning on the fly.
Learning on the fly. Thomas, congratulations for second place today. We hope to see you in more events.
Thank you.
That was Patrick Thompson there. Sorry, called him Thomas. Patrick Thompson there. Who took second place in this one. I believe we're going to try and speak with Vlad Tokarev as well now. Vlad, I believe we just need you to move your camera, I believe, just down a little bit, because we're kind of have only half of your head in the camera. Just down a little bit more so we can see your face. We've just kind of got half of your face sort of in the camera. If we can get it lowered a little bit, that's fine.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Vlad, either way, you took the race win 2 weeks ago. You're now 3rd place today. That must feel really good.
Yes, very good.
How was it with the faster drivers today? Obviously, being from Challenger League to Race League, was it harder for you today?
Feel super. I was 2 hours and start of the first race was very stupid from me. Sorry for guys behind.
Some more prize money though coming your way, Vlad. It was a good day for you. You must be happy.
Yeah, very happy. I have luck in the race, both races. So yeah.
Very happy. Vlad, we'll let you carry on with your day. Congratulations on P3. Well done.
Thank you for racing.
Very welcome. And that then was the end of today's event. What an event it was. It was absolutely fantastic. And we've got many more events coming your way. 2 weeks' time, we get to do it all again for Challenge 5. The 30th of June for the Challenge League, with Vlad Tokarev maybe back onto the track as well, and that is in the 14th of July for the Racer League. And the challenge that those drivers will be taking on is going to be an absolute beauty. It is the Dallara P217, an LMP2 car, around the home of British motorsport, Silverstone. 30 drivers for the 30th of June and the 14th of July. A 10-minute qualifying, a 25-lap race, 45 minutes roughly in time. 2 pit stops necessary in that race. It's going to be absolutely crucial, because if you're the top 10, that sets the grid for a 3-lap sprint, top 10 shootout, where the prize money will be given. There is no points on this day. Most drivers with the most points will get it. It is all about that 3-lap sprint. So a 45-minute, 25-lap race around the Silverstone circuit in an LMP2, all to prepare for a top 10 sprint shootout. That is the 30th of June and the 14th of July. The registration for the qualification will open very soon as well for the Challenger League and the Racer League. So if you want to get involved, go to apexracingleague.com. Believe I've got that one right for the first time. Yes, got it. Go over to there. Make sure you register and enter. When you're in the Discord and you've done the qualification times, you don't need to do it ever again. You will be in there to then set another pre-qualification time. So go through the website, apexracingleague.com, and make sure you enter through that. It is going to be an absolute belter at the home of British motorsport. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a great event. But enjoy the rest of your evening, especially if you're out there watching the football. Obviously, I know England have kicked off, so if you're watching that, please enjoy and stay safe as well. Obviously, happy Father's Day here in the United Kingdom as well to all fathers across the UK. What an action-packed day at Spa it has been. What a day of racing. We'll miss the Toyotas, we'll miss the heavy rain for now, but I'm sure the forecast will be back later on in the year. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.